Hello everybody and welcome back to another summer vlog. This is going to be my first and last travel vlog of the summer. I'm pretty excited to show you guys all the clips that I've gathered from this trip. So it was actually a really last minute decision to come to Vegas. So basically we flew in on Friday morning and then we spent the day there, and then we spent one night in Vegas, which was Friday night, and then the next day we had about 3/4 of the day to do whatever we wanted before we flew back. And I got so much content and we did so much fun stuff in such a short amount of time. So my uncle recommended this buffet at Palms, which is like one of the hotels and casino places. It's not in the strip area, it's kind of out of the way a bit, not too far though. So this is my first time going into a casino in a long time. I actually came to Vegas in 2015 for like a family thingy, but I was like really young and I don't remember anything. I just remember my nose was clogged with like smoke. The casinos are like the hub for overstimulation. There were so many noises, so many flashing lights. I was like going crazy. So my uncle recommended this buffet called Ace Buffet, which is short for all you can eat. There was a bit of a line outside, so it was kind of annoying because we were all starving after getting off the plane. And the whole morning I decided to cut back on food so that I can have an empty stomach when I come to the buffet. So there was a small like bush thing, it was fake, but it divided the line from the actual buffet, and I like used my arm to like look over with the camera. So while you're in line you can see people gambling and it's really interesting to watch. So something low-key embarrassing happened. Basically a line is set up so that you have the first line where you pay and then you go into another line after you pay, but we didn't know that there was another line that you had to go into after you paid. So we started making our way to a table, and then the workers had to like pull us back and be like, whoa, you have to wait to be seated, like hold up. That was so embarrassing. Like the other guests who were in line were like okay, but eventually we did get in. So I'm going to show you guys some footage that I got. Some of it's pretty shaky, but there was so much bread and so much egg stuff. Funny story was I was eyeing the eggs because they looked pretty good, and then this lady came up out of nowhere. She didn't have a plate or anything. It felt like she wasn't even eating there, but she was like, do not get those eggs, you will regret it. If you like eggs at all, this will ruin your perception of eggs. And she went on for a long time, and I was just standing there like an NPC, like okay, unskippable dialogue alert. So I went to the dessert bar as well, and whenever I go to a buffet I always come to the dessert place because it gives me life. So they had these individually sliced cakes and stuff, and I was debating getting one, but then you'd have to like ask the worker for it, and I regret it because I had this really horrible jello, bro. It was so sweet, it felt like a shot of sugar, hello? And if it wasn't bad enough, I spilled some of the red dye on my shirt and then I stained it. It's like my favorite jacket, so I was low-key sad. So I guess the main attraction here is the crab legs, but I don't really eat crab legs, so I got salad, some steak, which was cold, yuck, and an omelet. But overall, I feel like if you really like eating meat and like a really good spread, this is a good place for you. I definitely recommend it. So I'm actually someone who usually gets soft serve for dessert at buffets, but I wanted to try something different because the selection looked really generous here. So I ended up getting like that Oreo thing you saw, the Jello thing, which we don't talk about that, and then like some sort of custard, and it kind of disappointed me, so at least their soft serve was okay. So if you come here, you should try the soft serve. So after eating at Ace Buffet, we went to look for some drinks because we were dying of thirst after driving around in the heat for a while. We got to see the Sphere. I was napping though, so I didn't really get to film that because I was so groggy. But we stumbled upon this drink place, and the inside was crazy. I felt like I was in a casino again. So I couldn't find anything I really wanted on the menu, but I saw that they had fresh coconut, and I was like, wait a minute. So we all got the fresh coconut and it was so good. There was also a really cute photo op area. So I always liked drinking coconut water, but I never knew how good the meat would be like on the inside of it. So I was like inhaling that like there was no tomorrow. They also gave a little spoon so that you can scoop the meat out. I was lucky to get a pretty young coconut, so the meat was really good. Afterwards, we headed to Mandalay Bay, our hotel, and something that I saw that was really cool was this monorail thing. Apparently, if you stay at some of the hotels, you can take this for free. I mean, it's not free, but you know, you don't have to pay more on top of whatever you paid already. So when I got inside, I was just blown away by the grand scale of the hotel. Everything was just so huge, and the decorations inside and just the architecture was just amazing. Like, I was in shock, guys. So we headed over to the check-in counter, and everything was just amazing, guys. Like, just looking at it on this screen that I'm editing the video on, it's still so grand. So that really just shows how awesome it was. So the reason we chose Mandalay Bay as our place to stay is because we wanted to watch the Michael Jackson show that was being held here. And you might see it in the next clip, but there's a small sign for the show. It was a really good show. I'm excited to show you guys clips of it later. Enjoy some clips of the really awesome lobby. So we made it to our room. We were on the 23rd floor, which was pretty high up. Unfortunately, we didn't get the side that had like a sweeping view of the entire strip, but we got a pretty good view of the airport. So for a while, I was just resting on the chair and just watching planes come in and out of the airport. It was really cool. They had so many cool snacks, but you literally had to pay for them. I was kind of mad. So at this time, it was around 5 p.m. and there wasn't really a lot of time to go out and do other stuff, so we decided to stay inside the hotel because the Michael Jackson show started at 7, so we decided to grab dinner inside the hotel. So we walked around a little bit on the ground floor and eventually came to this noodle place. We saw an ad for it on the way in, and it looked pretty good since the line was pretty long and it was packed, so we decided that it was a good choice. So we got some Singaporean noodles and some dumpling soup as well as some miso ramen. So originally my dad got the ramen, but then I ate it and it was like really good, so I ended up stealing some of it, so oopsie. We finished dinner really quickly to our surprise, so afterwards we went to the MGM monorail and took it to Excalibur because it was something I really wanted to see and we had some time to kill before the show. So when we got to Excalibur, I got a really nice shot of the roller coaster at New York, New York, and I never expected the scale of it to be so large. I feel like when I saw stuff on Google, I thought that the scale of everything was just much smaller. But when I got here, I was like blown away by how big everything was, from the casinos, the restaurants, the buildings themselves. It's like, whoa. As soon as I got off the conveyor belt thingy, I saw a gelato stand and my throat was kind of sore and hot, so I was like, I need that raspberry gelato, and it was so good. So we did some exploring and went down to the place where they have the dinner show. I'm not sure what it's called, but there was also an arcade nearby, so I guess it's like, you know, the parents can gamble at the casino, but the kids can gamble at the arcade. Afterwards, we headed back to Mandalay Bay for the Michael Jackson show, and there was a really cool authentic jacket display. Honestly, looking back, this show was definitely the highlight of the trip. I was able to film a little bit of the opening sequence, but not the actual show. If you guys are ever in Vegas and Michael Jackson 1 show is on, you guys should definitely go see it. It's really good. Enjoy some clips. After the show was over, I was really tired, but since it was our only night and I wanted to see what Vegas looked like at night, I decided to just run on some adrenaline. So after the really cool Michael Jackson show, we actually just walked right over to Luxor, and this is my first time ever going inside the pyramid, and it was really nice and much bigger than I expected. There was like a theater, a Titanic exhibit, you could see some of the hotel rooms. There was also like a bodies thing, which honestly that would be really creepy to look at night. And also like a King Tut exhibit, which is very fitting for this environment. I've been really excited to see this place and it looks so cool at night. So one of the places that caught my eye when we were driving was the Paris area, so I really wanted to go there. It was quite a ways off, we couldn't just take a monorail straight there from Luxor or Mandalay Bay, so we ended up just taking it as far as we could, which was to Excalibur again. So it was getting late and it was like Friday night, so you know that means all the people are gonna start partying and there's like drinking and stuff. So honestly the streets smelled kind of bad and like there were so many people like just kept bumping into us and it was a little bit scary, but I got used to it after a while. I mean, you aren't really experiencing the Vegas nightlife if you don't experience that, you know what I mean? So it was worth it. It's always that first night when you land somewhere, even if it's like your only night. But that first night always really feels like you're on vacation. It's really fun. We ran into this Hershey shop and we went in because we were just kind of curious. And the coolest thing in there was this huge Hershey's chocolate Statue of Liberty sculpture. It was so impressive. So for the first part of our little trip out this night, we spent a lot of it in malls and sort of above the street level, and it was much faster to travel this way because there weren't as many people. Also, being up a little bit higher gives you a lot of great night views. My dad had talked about this fountain show that goes on every few minutes. Stick around a little bit longer and I'll show you guys some clips I got from that. We finally made it to Paris, and this place was honestly my favorite interior for a casino. I thought that the fake skies were just so aesthetic, and I really liked how the Eiffel Tower, I guess legs, is that what you call them? I don't know, kind of stuck through. It really felt like a different world. The interior design of the Paris casino really reminded me of old Disney movies. Kind of had a blend of like Beauty and the Beast, Ratatouille, and Aristocats kind of vibe. After admiring some of the nice views from above, we headed over to Caesar's Palace, which is where the fountain show that I mentioned earlier takes place. This place is definitely on the more expensive end of the hotels and casinos here in Vegas. Just look at how grand the architecture is. And this huge pool in the center really adds to that. The scene was even brighter today because there weren't any clouds, so there was a really clear shot of the moon. Really bright too. It was so crowded around the fountain, everybody was trying to get a good spot at the railing. After that, we headed over to Bellagio, which is also one of the more expensive ones. I'm so glad we stumbled across this place because this has to be one of my favorite things from the trip as well, along with the show. It's this really epic, grand fairy core type exhibit. I'm sure there's a better name for that, but whatever it is, it's definitely my aesthetic. That's pretty much all the footage I got for our first day in Vegas. I can't wait to show you guys part 2 coming up in the next vlog. Thanks for sticking around until the end of this video. Hope you guys have a great day or night or whatever time it is you're watching this. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till next time.